Welcome to Cranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Cranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Hello. Can you hear me out there in YouTube land? Good evening. It is 6:45. I think I'm on time, especially when you can move the time. Bless up One Love. Thanks for being here. One Love came early as usual. I think One Love get a notification. I'm just checking. I'm not even sure if he's in the chat, but bless up. Odell, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Sylvester Whittingham. Bless up. Thanks for being here. Bless up Jevan Davis. There's a lot to go over, A lot to go over today. Since I said I'll skip yesterday, I did a show yesterday. So I'm going to touch upon a few things before I go into the main topics. It's a massive lineup today. We're going to talk about the Premier League transfer situation, which has heated up significantly. We'll talk about the proposed new stadium, which is supposed to commence work starting next month. And we're going to talk some World Cup, as this is top of mind, and in a month and a half or between September 1 and 9th, we're going to be having games, so a lot to talk about there. Steve, I can't coach. Why? bless up, Steve, I can't coach McClaren. Looks like Coach McClaren is in the house. Stefan Wright, yes, Stefan is I'm putting together an album. So it's my introduction. And as you come in, people know they hit the like when they come in. Because we see 30-something people already, only 18 likes. I don't understand this, Steve. So when you come into the chat, and there's a big poll there, which basically says, have you hit the like button and subscribe? You would think automatically, so you're going to enjoy my show, you'd hit the like button. But Savannah, stingy, mean, frugal, penny pinching, no, like pinching, and a penny pinching, and I'm not giving money. You're just not giving money like Colin Quest. Wherever you are, Colin Quest, best of Colin. I was drop him look at 20 here, but not look at 20, big 20. Most of them not giving money. I'm not want to get free like much as well give money. Bless up, Omar. But anyway, so you go. You have to deal with it. What's on my list? So I look at the Google News before I come to these shows, just at the last minute. And I see where there's something come out that said Trump is diagnosed with chronic benign venous insufficiency, or what they call vein disease, exemplified by swollen ankles. If you ever see desperation people with a set of people who are trying to change the narrative and change the news, it's the Trump people. So if Trump never had the Epstein thing overhead, we wouldn't even know chronic benign. First of all, how something be chronic and benign at the same time? That's an oxymoron. I understand that. If it's a chronic, it's boy something wrong, terrible. When you eat poorly and you get old, them things that happen. It's benign. But they're trying to change the narrative because they can't take the pressure from the Epstein thing. And by the way, if you haven't seen my show, go look at it. I did a video on the Epstein saga, as I call it. I did the video on Monday. It's not long, it's about 17 minutes. You can even watch a wrap-up of the video because I give about 6 or 7 things which are extremely concerning. And for people who believe that this is just about nothing, And I hear people like Steve Naismith talk about he has to go to dinner and this is nonsense. I think we're giving injustice to the victims of what I consider one of the worst situations ever in the history of the US in terms of crime. You have a situation where, and I won't spend a lot of time on it because I want to jump into, I came to talk sports this evening, but go watch a video, people. Go watch a video, people. Somebody who actually destroys kids' lives, female Caucasian. So I don't understand why people who run this country would not be concerned about that. Now, part of the concern may be the people who are involved is the who is who of money in this country. And it shows you that power and money can get you out of any situation. But go watch a people video. And especially the last summary that I did of the video that talks to the crime perpetrated and some questions that needs to be answered. It's really, really bad. And for those who believe that MAGA just, and the Democrats should just shut up and let MAGA just go self-destruct. Democrats shouldn't say anything yet. Just let them talk and talk and talk and lose their mind. And then later on, as it dies down, you pick it up. That's what you got to do. Because it's bad. Was about them present. Yes. No. All hell's broke loose, you know. Triple E. All hell has broken loose. Because MAGA is not having it. And MAGA shouldn't. I was reading to say where MAGA persons have burned their hats. And because Trump is saying Epstein is a hoax. It's not a hoax, people. Go read the Miami Herald article. Go watch my video and you see what I'm talking about. It's bad, like really, really bad. I see people talking about P. Diddy. And yeah, P. Diddy did a lot of stuff which are not appropriate. It's nothing compared to this. They're not in the same ballpark. P. Diddy had consenting adults in his situation. I didn't hear no kids in there, no teenagers. Here we had, 36 was in the indictment, I think, and there was they say there are hundreds of kids that this man assaulted. Not only him, people. You know, Leon Black paid him $150 million for consulting services. What is consulting? But anyway, go watch a video, people, and come back to me. We can talk about it because I'm doing a 3-part series on that. That was the first part. The next part was when he supposedly committed suicide, and I put that in quotes. And the third part going to be what's happening now. It won't go away anytime soon. Trust me. You can't hide. If something can bring somebody down, that is it. What is on my list? Oh, the Euros. So I was watching the England versus Sweden game this afternoon because I was in the gym. I was watching it on and off. I was in the gym working out. I didn't watch it most of the first half because I was doing a little bit of weights, you know, trying to regenerate the seasoned body. And I started watching when I went on the treadmill. So I missed the first. I watched periodically snippets of it, and then I watched most of the second half until the 70-something minute. I came back home, where I'm staying, and then I went back to check, and it was 2-2 and penalty kick, and England won. That was amazing. They scored 2 goals in 2 minutes, so they're through to the semifinal. That's a women's Euro, by the way, and they won it the last time. Even though I think Spain is gonna get them a whooping. Yeah, Sweden was up 2. England was the better team to me, though, throughout the game. Sweden has some very good offensive players, especially center forward. But I think England was a better team. And they locked out. Trained to sign for United. No. We're not signing for worthless team. We're not signing for team where I must get relegated, Presser. Come on, Presser. Do better than that. But let's go into the transfer window discussion. Oh, no. Before I go to the transfer window, I have something I'll drop for 2 seconds, people. Just leave it for 2 seconds. No criticism. I was trying to do something today. This is on music. I'm saying, you know what? Let me just run something for about 2 minutes. So just listen to me for 1 minute. I'm going to cut it off. I'm not spend no time on it. Then we'll jump into the program, all right? Just 2 seconds. Oh, there lies. No. This is wrong. All right. No puppet speech. We thought the things them. We have to start over. We are too far, very far. We're running for about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. This is Cranky, the runway house. We're going to run runway house, you know. And as we run the track, remember the saying? Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Here we go. Cranky life, make your wise. No corporate script, no disguise. Provide knowledge, open eyes. Drop real heat and expose their lies. Rate the youth to rise with grind. No praise them when them farm decline. Excellence get big headline. Mediocrity get left behind. Cranky life, we bring the vibes. No sell out, no come. All right. We'll stop it. The warm up. Anyway, we're going to have program. We're going to have program. So we do it time when we have people. I sit on my computer and I say, you know what? We'll just get some lyrics and do a thing. But you know I go when you have time for it. And so yeah. Hear me though? I run it one more time and I say pull up. I'm running one time for like a short window. Win up all hype. We start over. This is Cranky. We run my house. We run my house, you know. And as we run the track, remember the saying? Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Here we go. Cranky life, make your wise. No corporate script, no disguise. Provide knowledge, open eyes. Drop real heat and expose their lies. Rate the youth to rise with grind. No praise them when them farm decline. Excellence get big headline. Mediocrity get left behind. Cranky life, we bring the vibes. No sell out, no compromise. We no follow hype, we analyze. Talk the truth and burn out the lies. Cranky life, no puppet speech. We talk the things them afraid to preach. We not hide truth like a priest. We there to vibe and to teach. All right. Snip that. Look at music. All right, we write some rhyme thing. I started doing it today. I didn't finish the song, the DJ part, but I borrow people sound. So me try me like borrow people things and I tell them, you know. It's a 2010 called Sidewalk Rhythm. I think a VP Records won it. I emailed them, get no response. I may get frustrated. So if anybody know VP Records and know who we can contact for the rhythm, because I would like to license it and just run a track on it, I'd appreciate it because I don't know. I can't cataract about it, but you never know. Why is my thing going blank? My iPad keeps going blank in the people. I don't know why, because that's what I used to do some monitoring here. But where's Jason Guna? Jason Guna do not do in the rapping, you know. Sylvester said, "Hey, Sylvester, are you so miserable, Sylvester? You're miserable, you know. Yeah, I always want to run football. Get people to enjoy themselves, Sylvester. Every time you come, I see it together, Sylvester. We appreciate you being here, but you have to make a fun, man. Loosen up, Sylvester. We'll get to the football. Loosen up. I'll get to the football, people. Sylvester, since we're done with the thing, I chat too much about Trump and then Euros. So like that can go in a sense. Best up, don't put my name in the same sense when you mention Chelsea. Jeremy says, so like can go upon. You mean that's background noise? What man life? No, I say I don't run my house. I run my house. Me not talk nobody. No, sir. Anyway, I go to the football. So, in terms of EPL transfer, it's one of the most interesting transfer windows for, I think, the top 6 teams, not just across the entire Premier League. And it's going to be interesting when it flushes out, because what's happening in this is that the top teams who have very good players like a Frankfurt, Leipzig, those teams, Brentford, who have good players, they're being raided by the people with money. Previously, if you watch EPL in the 90s or 2000s, the reason why Man U dominated because they had the most money is to buy people, right? They go to Spurs and buy Berbatov. They go buy Ferdinand. They go buy whoever they want to buy from any team and just take them players and them run things, right? Arsenal at that point was a more selling club. And when Arsenal was sold to the Crankies, they didn't invest any money because it was the Russian, what's his name? Yumasov or whatever his name is. I'm messing his name up. There was a struggle between him and the Crankies about who should owned the team. Eventually, he went to Everton, and the Crankys took over. And they didn't invest a lot of money initially when they took over, right? They didn't invest a lot of money, but then subsequently, over the last since Arteta joined, or maybe in Arteta's second year, when Josh Kranky now became sort of head of Arsenal from his father, they started spending money. I was checking up today. Arsenal has spent over £800 million since Arteta took over. That's over 5.5 years. It's a lot of money. But if you look at the Premier League now, Chelsea came on board, Abramovich spent a ton of money. Then Man City came, did the same thing, even though they have 100 and something charges they got to deal with. And now you have Liverpool, who didn't win the Premier League for, the first 20-something years? Maybe longer? They win what? In Klopp's, when Klopp was here, and they won last year. So they didn't win for a long, long time. Now they have FSG as their owner. They're doing really, really well, actually. And they have a lot of money, people. Because they didn't spend any money in the last transfer window. And the way PSG, the PSR rules work is you can only lose 105 million over a 3-year period, right? An average over a 3-year period. So they have a lot of money built up between people who they sold, they didn't spend the money last year, and they're exercising their power, they're exercising their dominance, they're exercising their pocket as it relates to this year. So they have spent over 195 million. If you add up they're pursuing Ekitike, that's another 70 or 80. So they probably end up in this window spending 300 million pounds. That's a lot of money. Arsenal may be similar because you think about it, it's the Champions League money that Liverpool won. Arsenal probably won more than them in Champions League. There's the money. It's the Premier League they won. It's their commercial deals. It's their player sales. Arsenal doesn't have much player sales. So they're doing phenomenally well to transfer window. So Arsenal and Liverpool are the ones who sort of spend the most money so far. Well, not gross. Chelsea has spent more gross, but if you net Chelsea number, they probably have about 90-something million that they brought in, if you add the Madueke number. So they probably spent about 140, 130-something mil. But, Liverpool brought in Frimpong, Kirkes, Wirtz, Mama Dashivi, whatever his name is. They lost Alexander-Arnold. They lost Kelleher. They lost Kwanzaa. But they got 30-something million for Kwanzaa. Kelleher gave them another 20-something million. So they have a net about 50 mil. So on a net basis, they probably spend 230, somewhere around there. All right? That's a lot of money. Odell, I'll get to you, Odell. I'll get to you. I did Cranky yesterday, but I'll get to you. Yes, Odell. Chelsea did win the club World Cup, even though the World Club Championship, even though it came good in the latter parts of the tournament, but the first part didn't go well. Yes, we're spending for second place. It's better than coming 16th or 17th, frankly, isn't that what Man U and Spurs came? Spurs won a trophy. But no, Liverpool has done really well. And if they get Ekitike, they'll be in a much better place. They wanted Isak, and they were willing to spend up to 120 million pounds. I know they have money, but that's a lot of money, people. To spend 300 million in one window. It will be more than 300 million if they got Isak, but obviously Newcastle doesn't want to sell him. So it's a really interesting window for Liverpool. They're trying to solidify their position as the best team in England and win the league again. But also part of this is about Champions League and having 2 players in every single position. All right. In terms of Arsenal, they have brought in Kepa, which is from Chelsea. Madueke should be announced soon. He's from Chelsea. We love Chelsea players. Last year 2 years ago we had Havertz, we had Jorginho. We just seem to buy Chelsea players. And a lot of Arsenal fans are not happy about it. We have Norgard, who came from Brentford. Gokares, who we probably should be getting. So we have about, 5 so far. We were pursuing Eze, but I think Madueke money may have eaten up the Eze money. And I would have preferred Eze to Madueke, frankly, because even though we need a backup for Saka, Eze had 25 goal contributions last year in 40-something games. There's a goal contribution in 1 of every 2 games. Odegaard had a horrible season. If Odegaard is messing up, we put Eze in, or we play a double 10 hybrid like how Villa does. So, yeah. Cranky, why Sterling go back to Sterling and him not going to get in the game? He didn't have a choice to go back to Arsenal didn't want him because he was poor last year. I don't know what Sterling is going to do. He makes $350 a week. Ain't nobody can pay that except a Man City, maybe Arsenal, and Chelsea. So Chelsea will try to buy him out. If you see in the NBA nowadays, Bradley Beal get bought out, Aiden get bought out, Lillard get bought out. So, someday you cut your losses. What Sterling should say, look, give me 80 cents on the dollar and I'll leave. Go find a club someplace. All right? 80 cents on the dollar. And also, I heard Liverpool may be pursuing Rodrigo, actually. So not only Ekitike, maybe Rodrigo also. It's crazy how much money they have to spend. Unbelievable. So I don't know if they get all the players in, they're a better team than last year. And they won easily last year. Kirkers, I rate a lot. Frimpong, we got to see how he adapts to the Premier League. But if they then bring in Ekitike, who's a good player, even though he failed at PSG, they lost Jada, who was a consistent goal scorer. It should be a really interesting season. If they can bring in Rodrigo, it's going to be difficult. Rodrigo going to Inter Miami, nah. Them kids got to play Premier League football. They got to play high-level football. World Cup is coming up next year. All the individuals you see, people don't want to go to Saudi. They don't want to go playing some league like here. Ravel is playing in whatever third division because it's about World Cup year. Everybody want to play World Cup. Everybody wants to play World Cup, people. Biggest stage, you want to play World Cup. And we'll get to that about Jamaica and the players because World Cup is it. Everyone want to play World Cup. I don't think Jota will affect that at all. When you go on the field, you're not thinking about Jota. You're thinking about putting the ball in the net. It may motivate them more than anything else because they may want to win for him versus the other way around. I don't think they'll dominate for years to come. I don't think Man City, nobody's talking about Man City, by the way, including yours truly, because they did their business early. I don't think Man City has bought well over the last few years because they were so dominant and they kept the same players maybe too long. They're getting rid of Grealish. They brought in Mamouche back in. So they spent a lot of money in January. They brought the kid from Milan in, midfielder. They have Rodri back. They're going to be good. Haaland should be in a better place. Savino and Doku are very good players. Got to produce more goals. So they're not in a bad. It's going to be interesting this year, actually. Man U has only bought Mateus Cunha, and they're struggling. People in life sometimes things look easy from the outside, but they're much harder from the inside. So Ineos came in. They had the richest man in England running their group, and then they realized that this is not as easy as we thought it was. So they're struggling. They're struggling big time. And they've been negotiating for Mbueno for what, 3-4 weeks now? Arsenal fans complain about Gyökeres. They've been having that discussion about this kid for the longest. And the problem that Brentford has is Wissa is now wanted by Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, and Spurs. So you can imagine he's probably going to go. Can Brentford afford to lose both, including their captain Norgard? They may be struggling to stay up. I mean, they may want to reinvest the money, but the players got to adapt to the Premier League. It's not medical. Brentford wants 70 mil. Man U's at 65 plus add-on, so they'll get there. Just like how Arsenal is penny pinching on Gyökeres. We gave them 63. They want 10 in guaranteed add-ons. They don't want any add-ons where, you got to win the Champions League. They want add-ons where, you play 20 games, 30 games, it locks in. They want easily achieved add-ons because some add-ons are not easily achieved. Chelsea has spent, 227 mil? They brought in about 90. They brought in Delap. Pedro, who's looking really, really good. Gittins, Esugo, Estaval. So there's about 5 players there. They've lost some. Pejovic went out. Humphreys, Madueke, so Kepa. People just roll in on that Chelsea door. I know they're trying to sell. They're trying to sell what? They're sending forward to Villa. So it's going to be interesting. They probably need a striker, even though they have Delap and Pedro. And they probably need a center back, actually. They probably do more buying and selling because they just like to spend money. Tottenham hasn't done a ton of business, right? They bought Kudus. They bought Tell, who was on loan, and Vuskovic, but they haven't done a ton of business. And then we have Newcastle, who's bought Ilanga and Cordero, but they lost Callum Wilson, so they need a backup center forward because Isak is injured a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as it relates to Newcastle, Tottenham, because the window is still open until early August, and it's not like everybody's trying to do their business early. Because they want to get players in early so they can get them on their preseason tour. They can get them acclimated to their team, blend to the team, and but while the window is open, you're going to go pursue talent and pursue opportunities. So we'll see what happens, but it's a really interesting window. Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea are the main teams, and maybe Newcastle on the bottom. I did run a poll as to who's having the best EPL transfer window. I had about 30 votes so far. It says Liverpool 47%, Chelsea 37%, Arsenal 10%, Tottenham 7%. I thought people would say Liverpool, then Arsenal, then Chelsea, because Chelsea's a lot of mixed bag, but hey, who knows what those fans are? Who knows what those fans are who are voting who are voting here? And I did look at the updated poll for will Jamaica qualify for the World Cup because of the coach or despite the coach, or no, no, we won't qualify. 14%. So I had 153 votes. 14 says no, we're not going to qualify. I wonder who those 14 are. 17% said yes because of the coach, and 69% says yes despite the coach. So that's an interesting one, actually. But no, I am very interested to see how the Premier League flushes out as it relates to the transfer window, because everybody's giving Liverpool the title. Got to remember, people, the ball is round. Nobody gave Chelsea a chance to win the World Cup championship. Everybody thought PSG would run them off the park, and they ran PSG off the park. Everybody thought Liverpool would do really well last year in the Champions League. They won all their games. Well, they lost, I think, the last game. They won the first round and got knocked out, right? Knocked out early. So nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Let's go to the National Stadium. Now, the question is, can Jamaica build a world-class home? And if you've been to the National Stadium, and I was there, where was I there? Back in June? Man, does it need work. It needs a lot of work. That stadium was built, early 1960s. So it's been there for a long time. It's undergone one upgrade, but not what I call a material upgrade. So they have decided, so let me play this. By the way, this video I'm playing is from TVJ. I give you credit for your video. It's TVJ video, but it's like a public video where Bobsy Grange is talking about the refurbishing of the stadium. Before I play it, I want to say this, people. I am not political. Let me say this again. I am not political. I am not political. I'm not political. So I'm going to beat me because I'm not JLP and someone not PNP. I don't want to steal. But I find it very interesting. When I election? Next month? Next month election? I think next month election. As you come in the chat, people, please hit the like button. I think next month election. I was reading an article where they have 100 and something buses now. Well, they're basically cheap and they must spread them out and kids can't have bus to go to school, can't have to take the taxi thing. Why the timing look fishy, star. And then the stadium, which was announced a while ago, but right now, just at the opposite time, it come back in line. The specs them done right on time. It will start just before election. But I tell you, it may be coincidental, people. So I cause no aspersion for nobody. But it's just very interesting that all these significant things, if you look at Long Hill Foot, they might try to do the overpass. They might do enough things all at once. You would think it'd be spread out over a 12-year period. Because 12 years, they're not power Wi-Fi now. The election is going to be called this year. Isn't it called this year? Isn't the election called this year? I thought the election was called this year. No, I know Jason Guna, but the timing, Jason Guna, it's all about timing. No? Life's about timing. Life's about timing. Life's about timing. But anyway, it's a good thing. What the timing, whether or not, I don't really care because I don't vote at Jamaica. I don't want nobody pressure me to say me a political. But it is, although it's a Jamaica Stadium, way better than Kenya and Zimbabwe Stadium. Is that the comparison, Odell? Why can do some comparison? I have to laugh sometime, you know. We're Jamaica people. We're not do them comparison there. If you talk about, some other stadium, like in Trinidad, for example, which are some good stadium, but time and things have eroded some of them. But now use Kenya, some of the Africa as the example. Bless up Ted Dexter. Thanks for being here. But they're going to do a couple of things. Let me play the video. This is from TVJ. I download the video from TVJ. I'm going to play what was discussed today, and we'll just talk about it a little bit. But this is the video.
Work.
The stadium will be, and I may repeat some of the things that Jonathan said, will be 90% covered. We will have tiered parking, because I know parking and the traffic control has always been a big problem. Upgraded seating, modern anti-doping facilities, modern media facilities, the sports museum, improved lighting, and enhanced spectator amenities.
Jonathan Sibaka is the principal at Ryder Architecture.
We're looking to proceed with the next stage in September. That's when things will get really, really exciting, I hope. And we hope to break ground next year with cranes in the sky, so to speak, to see this come to life. In summary, we've crafted the brief with Desmond and the team. The building is currently 65,000 square metres. It's a sizable piece of development. One of the key things here is to make this a truly world-class international venue, and as such, everything that we're designing is fully compliant with all of the sporting regs around the world that you would expect, including FIFA and World Athletics. We're fully compliant with the Green Guide, which goes into detail around safety, security, visitor experience, all things that we know need to be improved on the current stadium.
Minister Grange also spoke to the significance of the upgrade of Jamaica as a premier sporting venue.
Jamaica needs to meet international standards if we want to continue to host international and regional events and have our events sanctioned by the international governing bodies.
General Manager of the Independence Park Limited, Major Desmond Brown, says the upgrade will, amongst other things, provide monetary benefits.
I believe that if you provide improved quality seating and facilities, people pay more, right? So we don't think that they're going to decrease.
When the renovations are completed, the National Stadium will also cater to the disabled community.
Under the disability requirements in the Green Code, they will have put in things that they can access everywhere. There's also a requirement that the stadium must be able to evacuate in 12 minutes. So we're going to design exit ramps so that we can have proper evacuation.
Denise Walters for TVJ Sports.
What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on the stadium? So let's just summarize the key facts from the video you just saw. Renovations beginning next month. So not I would say they'll push out after election. It's supposed to begin in August and end in 2029. I hope we are around 2029 to watch it finish because it sounds very good. By the way, I'm running a poll to say should we have built a new stadium or upgrade the stadium? Because basically they have a full upgrade. Well, 90% are going to be upgraded, right? 90%. But should we have new stadium or refurbish this one? It's really interesting. The new stadium going to have between 37,500 and 38,000 people. It's about 30,000 now, I think, somewhere around there. 90% roof coverage, which means you may not have the traditional bleachers anymore because the seating is supposed to be changed across the entire stadium. You're going to have VIP lounges, museum, doping labs, conference room. So, interesting. It's going to be fully FIFA and World Athletics compliant, which is good, so you can host events and generate income. And the one thing I find interesting is going to be hosting champs and Reggae Boys matches during construction. Now, you know the work, right? 4 years of inconvenience. That's my challenge. 4 years of part of the stadium wall off because of my work on it. I think when you're trying to patch something, it doesn't work as well as when you bring it from scratch. You can you can design it how you want to and execute it. Now you're a slave to the old configuration, how you want to do things. It's interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I know the problem is that the question, where would these events be held? That's why you need 2 stadiums in the country. You don't need one. So commercially, you don't have the new money. Go to Saudi Arabia, man. Go ask them for some money. Then get a loan, interest-free loan from them. They might give you money. They might give you money to golf. They might give you money to cricket. They might give you money to football. They might have money, but they might just throw away money. They might give Ronaldo $100 million a year. They might have money, man. Tell a couple of the athletes to run for Saudi Arabia now. Them can get paid and them can give Jamaica some money. We can get some money out of it. Stefan says some of these events can be moved to Savannah Park. They probably should have knocked down the stadium and put up a new one. Love asking money too much. Them people have money again, man. They're not Jamaican. We love begging. You know? Let's go beg. We're Jamaican. We love free stuff, even though it wouldn't be free. I'm sure we have something we can give them. They can give us. We have athletes. And not nobody run certain events. So. But anyway, it's a good deal. I'll be glad to see the stadium upgraded and completed. It's going to take a long time. I wonder who's doing the work, though. Is it all Jamaica doing the work, or we have overseas workers? Because, we stay, We work on Jamaica time, So 2029 could be 2035, You know that go? This 2030 and 2019 is optimal timing, If everything go well. Most major projects run over time. I was in India year before last, and they were talking about their subway system I try to build out. You know how long they might try to build out, people? Now, that's a major undertaking, frankly, to build out a subway system or then build out them train system, but it's enough time, enough overruns, cost-wise, time-wise. Because when you run a project that long, materials go up, you have to pay people more money over time, and unanticipated things happen. It's going to be interesting how that works out. Yeah, see, I agree with the tycoon. When you make 27, you shouldn't come back to Jamaica and play cricket. So as tycoon is saying, we can take over the cricket ground because they don't need it. A waste of time. 27 people. It's hard to make 27. If 11 people make 27, you have to try really hard to do so. In fact, if you didn't know better, you say them sell out the game. Because it's hard to make 27. But the stadium is a welcome thing. I'm running a poll, people, on my YouTube channel. I have 23 votes so far. And it says 70% should say it should be new and 30% refurbished. So, and I understand what Amen is saying. So we don't have money for a new stadium thing. We build it from scratch. But I think we're going to spend all that money refurbishing. Because, Amen, if you're going to do all they're doing, it's like building a new stadium to me. But the old stadium, not really work, really. I mean, the track may be good, can refurbish the track. But here's the one. What's the one thing you guys didn't hear in the piece? Let me see if you guys were listening intently. What's the one thing you didn't hear from Bob Zigrange or from the architect? What's the one thing you didn't hear? West Indies make 27. Hey, Odell, you know why Odell? Odell, you know why Odell? Because nobody not here. Nobody not here, Odell. Exactly, Flash. Flash, you hit the nail on the head. No, it's not about, cost is one thing, I agree, but nothing about the field, right? That's what the players complain the most about, the field. When you're not about pitch, nothing about pitch. That's the first thing we want to hear. The pitch it's good to have convenience and concession stand and all these other nice amenities, but the players need the best surface to play on, right? But yeah, you didn't hear. I thought about it, the no cost, but the field was the main thing to me because that's what the players have to play on, and I want to have the best surface to provide the best performances. Right? We can deal with the inconvenience we know about the stadium, no good media area, bleachers have no cover if it rainfall, sun hot, you get burned. We can live with that, but we want the best product on the field. And I didn't hear anything about the pitch or the field, and that wasn't good. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But they talk about, when they talk about events, it's always going to be Reggae Boys and Champs. That's talked about a lot, actually. So they should be cognizant and aware of the whole champs thing. But no, the field needs upgrading and updating. Jason said the field maintenance costs more than the revenue earned by the facility. So maybe with improved facilities, your revenues, field maintenance funds can increase. They need to get some really well-informed people to maintain the field. And this is not casting aspersion on those who do it today. But I don't know if it's the maintenance of the field. I don't know if it's the weather in Jamaica. What is it? Why we can't have the field be optimal in terms of the smoothness of the surface and it being suitable for good football? I don't understand it. Hosting World Championship. Stadium too small, man. 30-something thousand people. That's a small stadium. But you know what? If Jamaica has first-class facilities, they'll get events. There's no doubt about that. People like to go to Jamaica. You can go to Jamaica and watch the event and go up on the North Coast and enjoy yourself. People go. Right? People will go. Amen, you say that's like giving the upgraded field. I don't know about that, amen ring. I don't know about that at all. I'm glad you have such great perspective on this and you're optimistic. But I'm not that optimistic. Well, yeah, but I'm sure Rudolph will do something about it. By the way, I run. I've been running some poll this today now. Let me see what much we have now. I have a poll here about Rudolph, actually. I have 33 votes so far, and my poll says, should a pro license Rudolph Speed coach the Reggae Boys? Meaning he's going to Trinidad, he and Tapa, as we talked about the other day, to get their pro license. So they're going to work to get their pro license. Probably get it within the next year. And my question was, when he gets his pro license, should he coach the Reggae Boys team? And 18% said yes. And 82% says, I'm going to use my own term, hell no. So, Nitro said, I didn't see Nitro coming, I just saw it. Nitro said, hell no. Okay, I hear you, Presser. So, yeah, I mean, hey, I think Rudolph was asked a question. Wasn't he asked a question about that? And he seemed to have aspirations to do so. I don't know how that would work for Rudolph, though. That's a strange one. I said that the other day. So if Rudolph coached a national team, that'd be weird, actually. He coached a national team, then he would still be owner of Cavaliers and still coach Cavaliers. Would he coach a national team of Cavaliers? There's been a lot of discussion in the public, not just in Jamaica, actually, but in general about should a national coach a club team because of so much. They don't have a lot of. There's a lot of downtime as it relates to coaching a national team, right? So think about it. When McClaren it may work for McClaren, but for some coaches it doesn't work. He comes, he leaves. Early July? He doesn't come back till September. That's a 2-month lag. So there's a question: should they coach it? They keep themselves abreast. They're involved. They, invigorated versus them just coming, not even coaching, just managing, because it ain't really coaching. You're doing a national window. So I don't know. Sanjay said they need to go and coach in South America and did something. Yeah, the question is for Tapa and for Rudolph is, does coaching locally prepare you to coach a national team, even if you have a pro license? Right? That's an interesting one. He doesn't remain the coach of Cavaliers. Yeah, but he wants Cavaliers to do well. And Cavaliers do well, I'm going to get the money now. So that's important. You don't want to get Cavaliers to somebody and then mess it up, especially since he's doing so well. But even if he's not the coach of Cavaliers, if he's the owner of Cavaliers and he's coaching the national team, it would be mayhem. Because even if he does the right thing, suppose a Cavaliers player should be the national team. People are saying pick the player because my coach. So that conflict just put him in a bad spot. You think it's bad now with the 10 times worse then? Because he's won the league, 2 years in a row. He may have some of the better young players. They may deserve to be in the national team. But you're down if you do and down if you don't. If he puts them in a team, people are going to say it's because he's biased and because he's the coach. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But he seemed to have aspiration. I'm very surprised to hear that. Because I didn't get that when I met with him. I didn't get that he wanted to. So that was interesting when I heard that interview with Ricardo Chambers. Amen said it cost $200 million to upgrade Oregon to host World Athletics Championship. It was private funding from Nike boss to raise the money for the upgrade. Yeah. Well, Knight has a lot of money, so that's not surprising. Omar said he can go coach BVI. Bless up float management. I think Rudolph has much more ambition than coaching BVI. Rudolph, I talk about national team. You go on. I thought, I'm going to be honest, I thought Rudolph wanted to run the JFF, not coach the national team. And if I was Rudolph, I don't want to coach the national team. I want to run the JFF. If you run the JFF, you can tell the coach who would pick, I mean, it happens now anyway. You can tell the coach who would pick. And by the way, I must admit to something, because I won't be a hypocrite. I was listening to, do you guys know Tim Vickery? You guys know Tim Vickery is that North American, he's an English person, lives in Brazil and covers North American football. And he was saying that, Ancelotti is the coach of Brazil. And just like you have in Jamaica, the local people want to see some local players in the national team. But as you know, Brazil doesn't really have any diaspora players, right? They're all local players who get exported. And what I find interesting is with these countries, and Jamaica part of it, is when they export players, it's almost like those players are no diaspora players. Have you guys thought about that? When they export players to lead the country. So think about Stewart or any of the players. People like Cephas come up. Even Cephas, Bailey, Flemmer, all of them, East. It's almost like those players are no longer local. They've gone overseas. The local players are the players who are on the island. And he was saying that in Brazil, he was asked, will Ancelotti pick any local players in the team? Because Brazil has a ton of players playing overseas, right? And if you're not overseas, to me, if you're in Brazil, you're not overseas, that means you're not ready for the national team. Because they export all their best talent and export a ton of them. They can pick 3 teams. And he basically said that Brazil would love to have the locals, some of the local players in the national team. And he was asked, would he do that? And he said, yes, Ancelotti is a politician. And it reminds me that just as McClaren. He said, yes, he probably would pick a few of the local players in the team because he remembered when he was at Real Madrid and they asked him a question about his role. And he basically said one of his jobs is to please the president of Real Madrid. So once the president called him and said, when Odegaard was 16, that he should play Odegaard, and he knew Odegaard wasn't at the level he needed to play a lot of the games that Real Madrid was playing. And he said, what happens is, Ancelotti said, yeah, I'll play him. So he played him in games that didn't matter because his view is his job is to satisfy the president. And he was making the case that Ancelotti is a politician. So in Brazil, he'll pick a few players in the national team, even though they probably won't get any game time. Nitro says 80 Brazilian in the top 5 leagues. Yes. So I don't know how a local player could get in the team. If they were good enough, they'd be overseas. Because nowadays they go very young overseas. 17, 18, 19. It's not like before where they'll be 20 plus. They're going overseas very early. So it's really interesting. Henry says, I heard the Americans complaining Poch was told to put MLS players in the team. They helped Messi play in the play 6 minutes. Yeah, because they want to give them exposure, right? So I think it's something which we all got to live with, just like we see in Jamaica. I think the only difference is that the players from the US and or Brazil, most of the ones we're talking about are locally developed players playing overseas, versus here we may have people born overseas who are naturalized citizens of Jamaica. So I guess maybe we'll be more understanding when it comes to that and understand where people are coming from. But McClaren is putting locals into matches that matter. Yeah, well, yeah, well, I don't have no problem putting locals into the team, so long as and locals meaning locally based. We gotta bifurcate that local. The local is about locally based, not locally developed, right? Because as I said before, when you get like how King is overseas now, King is no longer local. King is just another player. I don't know where he fits, but he's not local because he's not playing in the JPL. All right? You're not playing the JPL. Steve, you want to get fired? No, we're not firing you, Steve. You have to carry us to the World Cup. Amen said the same for Argentina. They only picking players abroad, only one local base. Yeah, because I mean, to me, there's a reason you export. These countries export players, right? A little bit different from Jamaica because we haven't developed our players as well as we should. But they export players, and they don't have the same diaspora to pick from like we do. Very few countries have the volume of diaspora players that we do. In fact, maybe none. I know teams like Nigeria, some of the African countries would have a lot who would export to, like France. But Jamaica may have more diaspora players than any other country to pick from because it's multiple generation. A lot of the African countries, the migration occurred a little bit later. Jamaicans went there right after World War II. So you have, second and third generation now. You had first, but the second and third generation, people you can still pick from. So it's a big number. All right? It's a big number. So let's jump into the last topic for the day, which is about the role of, I'm going to call key stakeholders in qualification, and whose shoulders is it on to make sure we qualify. Now, my thumbnail has Mason Greenwood on it, and people may think I'm thinking that Mason Greenwood is going to be the savior and carry us to the World Cup. And I think he has the ability to greatly assist in that endeavor, but he can't do it by himself, right? He won't need enough help, especially against the Curacao and the Trinidad. Maybe less so against Bermuda, but we don't underestimate anybody, including Bermuda, because we struggle against BVI and Dominique and everybody else. So we struggle with everybody. But there are a couple of things. The first thing to me is the coach, right? You could have started with the administration, but it's the coach. In terms of, I don't know what the coach's tactical strategy is. I don't see a consistent tactical identity for the team. And he needs to get it together because it's not a good thing. Right? When Tim Vickery was talking about Ancelotti, he said something I thought was very important. He mentioned that Ancelotti was on the ground in Brazil, and he mentioned something about him being at 4 matches. Either planned to go or attended 4 matches already. Right? Now, you may say, well, the coach need to be on the ground in Jamaica because the players are not at the same level. But you never know. You could have a gem in there. You could have a Baby Gardner in the mix. But if you're not on the ground watching intently and assessing and deciphering, you will never know. And if we just talked about the players in Brazil may not be at the level to displace the 80-plus players, as Nitro mentioned, that's gone overseas, right? But he's still there on the ground, and part of it is building that culture. He's building relationships. He's learning the environment he's operating in. And he comes from all the way out of Europe, people, far away from South America, and he's there on the ground, building relationship, assessing players live. And I'm sure he's going to go to Europe and look at players, but he's on the ground in Brazil doing it. And we have a coach who's been here for almost a year and go to Jamaica and turn around as soon as game done. And then people cuss us in YouTube and saying we are toxic and we do this and we do that. When we were told that anybody who got the job had to be on the ground. And people may say, well, be on the ground for what, Cranky? The players are not there. He needs to be on the ground, working with the JFF, looking at players, understanding the environment. He can contribute not only for the reggae boys, but in football in Jamaica in total. He's getting paid. It's not free. So I do that comparison, that analogy between him and Ancelotti is night and day. And everybody knows Ancelotti is a manager, not truly a coach, he's a manager. Right? He's a manager. He needs to, I'm just talking about the role he needs to play, right? So he has to establish some identity. He needs to spend more time on the ground and go to live games and watch players. He hasn't done enough of that. All he want to do is sit down and watch White Scout or whatever it is and look on stats versus good. He don't know some of the players, don't know the local players. When he brings them in the team, when he brings in replacement, he doesn't know them. He needs to avoid favoritism and build chemistry. And right now, there's some favoritism there on his part. Or he also needs to avoid the view of having predisposition and having some perspective on certain players, which may not be reality in a sense. So the favoritism need to go and just pick the players based on merit. You also need to continue to recruit. I know he's brought some players over the line, like our CDM, Hayden, but he needs to recruit. We need a Dwight McNeil in the middle. We need a Lloyd Kelly in the defense. We need a Jacob Ramsey. Go see if you can get them. If they say no, fine. We move on. But go get them. I know we have about 4 or 5 who are going to come in over the next 2 windows. Maybe a couple in the first window, maybe 3 in the next window, in the window after that. But we'll have at least 5 for the second window. We may have 3 for the first window. If a couple of players get released from their clubs to go pick up their documents. But also, he needs to pressure the JFF and the Jamaica government to work collaboratively to get players naturalized. Now, I mentioned to you guys that I have a couple kids who were juniors. I think they were 16. They filed their papers in England in 2022. They still didn't get no papers. They filed, and they sent me the entirety of the kid's name was what? One was Cameron Paul Joseph. Another is Anthony Bank. They were trying to get into the under 17 or under 19 team. They filed their papers with PICA from 2022. Still ain't got no naturalization. They filed the papers, and I'm gonna do an extensive show if I have time on it. Do extensive show on it, chronologically sequencing what transpired. Filed their papers in 22, 23 time period. Went back and forth with PICA. They filed in Birmingham. They went to London, the London or PICA office in London. And it's been a back and forth between emails and a bunch of stuff. And they are beyond frustrated. The kids are now way past 17. They're probably old and gray before they get their naturalization. It's just, I think it was 2 days ago, they got one of them got an email. Mr. Ellis got an email for his son that says that they're looking at his stuff. Because I think he sent him another email. He sent him a lot of email, people. It's here's what we're missing in this whole equation. I digress a little bit. Is the kids, people. If you're 16, 1 second, presser. Why is my thing not hooked up? Hold up. I thought I may have gotten 1 second, presser. No, give me 1 second. I just connected it. 1 second, presser, before you finish. If you're 16 years old and you have an aspiration to play for a national team, you think you're good enough, and you're trying to get naturalized, you know how bad and how terrible you must feel after 2 years to nothing happen? And you keep asking your dad, what's the story? You're 16. You're not 23, 24. You can digest adversity as well. So it's crazy. But I'm going to do a show on that sometime next week. Pressa, good evening. What do you have to say before I jump into some of the reasons why I think each party need to do to justify, to have us make the World Cup? What's your point, Pressa?
Yeah, I remember something about underground, right?
You do what?
Underground in terms of Ancelotti being in Brazil.
Right.
I think there are much more talented players in Brazil to kind of be underground in a sense, to make certain assessment of the national program to make selections for the region in terms of qualifiers and playing in the World Cup next year. Whereas McClaren, I don't have a problem with him being underground, but my thought process with McClaren was more so with all the expertise that he would have garnered over the years in terms of coaching, despite whether or not some of us think that he's a successful coach, right? But he does have expertise to some extent, from Ferguson days, working with Tenal, but just being at United for such a long period of time, going to Netherlands, coaching England, having, learned experiences from, failures and these type of things. I would have liked, I don't know if it's happening, but I would have liked if the JFF is extracting as much information from him to implement in certain areas in which the football program in general in Jamaica can improve. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of the times we talk about grassroots and, structures in different areas in the football, landscape in a sense. So other than coaching the national team, if it's a case where they can try to have things where he can have a hand in terms of putting knowledge or imparting knowledge, I think that would be a good thing rather than just there's nothing to look at in the JPL, to be honest. Not saying he shouldn't look, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not going to say that, actually. I think, as you're saying, there's a difference between, does the JPL have enough quality for some people to matriculate or to transition to the national team? And as you alluded also, which is, can he impart knowledge to players, coaches, administrators to help the football, given his experience? Right? He can add value, some way, shape, or form. I may not rate him as a coach, to be honest, but he can add value. But if you're not there, you can't add any value. And the question is, I've never seen the situation where a coach just, some people can come up with examples, I'm sure, but just come work part-time and go back on yard. I don't understand.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, for him to be on the ground, right? I would want him more in that capacity, in a sense. Even like Pochettino, for example, you would say that, well, Pochettino isn't the most like accomplished coach to coach the US men's national team, right? But he's definitely one of the most like experienced at the top level, in a sense. And, you know, with him being in America, like majority of the time, I know that there's a good trade-off in terms of like, okay, he's the coach of the national team. But I also do believe that he's also imparting a lot of knowledge within the US Soccer Federation to help to grow the sport in some sense at the grassroots level and other levels as well, in terms of developing players, you know, coaching systems and these different type of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if it could also be the case for McClaren, which I don't know if that's happening, but if that could also be the case, then I think it would also benefit the football in Jamaica on a wider scale, in terms of having somebody with so much experience, you know, kind of like sharing that knowledge and, you know, helping you to implement certain things and that type of thing. So by the time he leaves, like, he also leaves the program in a better, you know, standing. Because you remember Algrimson, he was like, you know, when I leave Jamaica, I want to leave it in a better place than what I would have got it in. You know what I'm saying? At this moment in time, even if Jamaica qualifies for the World Cup and say we're going to World Cup and McClaren leaves the job, I'm still not sure if McClaren would leave the program in a better place than what he would have received it in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, look, I think Hogrimson had a much broader and long-term vision than this coach is just hired for the World Cup, right? So I don't think he really cares. Hogrimson was a much more long-term hire, not just for the World Cup, I don't think. And my understanding is, based on talking to some people, was that Hogrimson's objective was to make sure Jamaica qualified not only for 2026, but 2030 and beyond. Yeah. So his recruiting had that in mind, actually.
Yeah, but those are my points, though.
All right, so appreciate the call. Yeah. So back to some of the points. Let me go back to A.M. Henry. A.M. Henry says, why don't they come to Jamaica to look about in person or give power of attorney to someone in Jamaica to act on their behalf? Well, they don't come to Jamaica. I don't think people understand. England is not like the US people. A lot of people in England don't have the resources to even come back to Jamaica, spare that extra change, and have disposable income to come back. It's expensive to fly to Jamaica from the UK. Some people don't have the resources, right, to do so. It's not like the US where it's right next door. You just spend $200 if you time it right, or $400 to come. It doesn't work like that. These people don't have the resources or have the time to be able to do so. A lot of English people go to Jamaica because they figured out a way to get there. Not everyone can do so. So I'm not saying these individuals specifically is in that situation, but we have to be very careful when we're saying they should just go to Jamaica because it's difficult. And also, they may not have the linkage and connection in Jamaica to give that power of attorney, and they may not even understand how the process works. I think people muddle through the process. They haven't gotten the information to inform their view about how well to do this, or they may have gotten information and they follow the process and it doesn't work as they expect or as intended. They went through the process and they got still getting feedback from PICA over and over again, because they sent me the emails. I've looked through them, and they came back to them last September, said, send us more money to do XYZ. They did. Then I hear nothing. So think about from last September to now, they just heard, one of them just heard something. I haven't talked to the other one family yet. So it's a little bit crazy, actually, and unfair to those kids and unfair to their families. Let's go back to McClaren, what I think he should be doing. So I was just mentioning the recruiting. Yes, I know we have recruited. I know people complain about the team needs to settle. The team needs chemistry. We have seen the team people. They need more than chemistry and settle. They need better players. Sorry. At this point, to me, it's all about the players in a lot of respects and less about the coaching. The coach can be a manager. He can recruit players. He can work with the JFF administrative to get people on board. But I'm not a fan of his tactics. And therefore, I don't see him as a differentiator, except when it comes to recruiting. And I have a friend of mine who sent me something the other day. Because he sent me something from, you guys know Joe Cole used to play for Chelsea. And Joe Cole had a perspective, I must summarize, that I'm going to put it in my own term. that fans think they know more than they know when it comes to football, because fans believe they can coach a team and they can do X, Y, Z. And he gave the analogy of a plumber. Like when your plumber come around, you don't tell the plumber what to do per se, right? The plumber come, do their work, and they leave. You don't sit there and say, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I laughed when he sent me that, because I'm sure he did it to talk about me and I think I know football. Let me just say this to my friend, because he may be in the chat. When we're doing analogies or comparisons or giving examples, we have to use things that relate, not apples and oranges. And here's what I mean by that. So sports, especially the football, is not like your regular job or discipline, where if you're a plumber, I don't care what you do as a plumber. Most people don't care about sitting down watching plumber fix pipe 24/7. And most people don't go and sit down and watch a doctor do what they do 24/7. They probably don't even get access to do so. Or watch how a bus driver drive 24/7, even though we all can drive. But as a driver every day, you can tell when a bus driver is not driving right or driving right, can't you? You're no different from football people. We watch football more than we do any other thing that we'd probably do in life, those of you who love the sport, 24/7. A lot of people play the game, maybe not be pros, but they play enough to be very, very dangerous. And they follow football like it's a religion, that they go to church every Sunday. So when you're trying to do analogies with this, be very careful, because people spend their time just watching and learning football 24/7. They may not go to formal coaching to get licensed, but they understand the game because they spend so much time doing it. You would not be too smart if you spend 3-4 hours a day doing something or watching something or observing something or learning something, and after 20 years, you don't know anything about it. That's ridiculous. So the comparison people are doing, I have to laugh. Comparing it to a plumber who you don't really care what the plumber is doing, you don't watch them. If you watch a plumber every day for 4 hours every day, 3 hours every day, 2 hours every day for 20, 30 years, I'd assume you'd learn something, right? Wouldn't you learn something after 10, 15, 20 years? You watch somebody do something over and over. You get all the expert opinion about this work. You learn about transition. You learn about counterattack. You learn about low block. You learn about XG. At some point, you should have learned something. You may not be the best coach in the world, because you need more than that, but you have learned something. So these analogies that we use to do comparisons and then critique fans and others who watch the game, I just have to laugh at it. Right? I have to laugh at it, because people don't realize that people live and breathe these things. Breathe these things. At some point, they got to learn something. Unless they just, you know what? It's over the head. Anyway, let's go to the players, people. We just talked about the coach. So the coach points to me is, one is you need some tactical identity. 2 is you need to spend more time observing players, learning players, knowing the players. Can every part depend on Merrin Garden? And I heard that they need more assistance. So that means they're not comfortable with the assistance they have. Whether it's Sinclair or Gordon, people are not comfortable, including the administrators up here. You need to avoid favoritism and you need to recruit better. Oda says, but I know some fans will discuss before the game is even played because their favorite player not play. Yes, you're going to have that. But it's not about him criticizing the coach and his tactical acumen. It's about his selection and they're not being objective, right? We're not talking about those fans. Talk about fans who spend time learning the game. Amen said, you should do a show on the repercussions of not qualifying. Amen. You try to get me beat, Amen. Yeah, try. I'm the one, Amen, who come on and says we're going to qualify despite the coach. So we can't do a show, Amen, saying, you know what, I could do a show saying repercussions. I could do a show on that. I'll think about it. Because I actually know what the repercussions. I've had discussions with people in the administration, not about that specifically, but got some inkling as to what the repercussions are really bad, actually. It's as bad as can get. It's detrimental for the football because there's a lot of hope on qualifying and the resources you garner from qualifying. So it would not be a good thing if we don't qualify. In fact, it'd be an awful thing. For players have to stay match fit and active with their clubs. We can't have players don't have clubs. And this we see, Bell has a club. He's now at Charlton, but Antonio don't have a club. Right? There are a few players who don't have clubs. We see Nicholson playing now, so that is good. Hopefully he gets regular game time. But we want our players to be active and have clubs because if they don't, it makes it tough for the coach. we need to make sure we have the right chemistry in the team. And when you bring in new players, it does affect the chemistry. But you have to marry the quality versus the chemistry. I think the quality has to be a prerogative. Good night. Hello?
Matt, you can hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I'm going to tell you straight up, you know. And you know, me sit down for 3 hours a day for 20 years and I watch a plumber, you know. And then me need my pipe fixed. And a guy come in at my house and I see him make a wrong move. Me throw him through the door right away.
But you shouldn't need a guy to come in your house if you watch it 20 years. You shouldn't need no guy to come in your house if you watch it 20 years. Eh? Then you forget throw out. Eh? If you watch a man for 20 years, fix your pipe. They waste money now.
You see.
Because you're watching for learn. You're watching for learn.
But you see, hey, even though you watch the man a plumber, you know, and you watch him a plumbing on my yard, see, and you did, you know, you might not have the dexterity or the hands or even the tools to do what I'm doing, you know, but you know what I'm doing, you know.
Yeah. If 20 years, after 20 years and 3 hours, yeah, man.
Yeah, so it's not everybody. Look at me, and some people say, well, if you don't play football, like you could never be a coach. No, you can learn how to coach a team without being a football player, without having to be like a Pele. Because sometimes, you know, even though you're a Pele, you know, you don't end up being a good coach, you know.
Well, tell me how many of those coaches in basketball, especially the ones who have had certain persuasion, have been big-time basketball players.
Well, not a lot.
Exactly. Rec league like me and you.
Sometimes the little man, them, we never even play much, but them sit down on the sideline and I watch the thing for all this time and them never get no game. And them man, they really end up being some of the biggest coach them in a professional sport, you know. Because when time you are the big player, what you expect is everybody who a player supposed to be big like you. And if them not big like you, well, it's like say them not worth nothing.
Yes.
You understand? So it's a fine line where you have to kind of work. But the analogy where you put through the man, a solid reasoning. Anyway, about the stadium thing there. You see, if you upgrade stadium, them have to go do something with the road, you know, Cranky.
Well, I think
stadium, you know.
they're gonna. They mentioned the parking lot, right? So I don't know about the road, but Mountain View is challenging.
I want 2-lane road. 1 lane go one way, 1 lane go the next way. Oh, you go have 50,000 people that traverse that road, the big man.
But it's only 30,000, so take out 20. 38,000.
All of them are come from airport. All of them are come from airport the same time.
Yeah. Now they have to improve the traffic around.
Yeah.
They need to improve that.
Yeah. I like how them kind of set up the little hotel them close by, like the little AC thing the way you go the other day, and it's nice. When time we go look there, you say, what, John? That hotel they are nice, don't it?
AC, a big time hotel. Love AC. Love AC.
And it's not too far from stadium.
Me love AC. When I say people, me love the AC hotel.
You understand?
I stay there for a week and a day, and I love the AC hotel. Love the hotel. Love the vibes.
So the infrastructure, they have to work on the infrastructure around the stadium. Not just the stadium, but the road and other facilities. Because again, I know everybody have a car, you know. Sometimes you have a man, you know, where left man to go beer and come at stadium to come watch a match, you know. One about a bus transportation, you know, we can get a man. You understand what I deal with?
Yeah.
You have to kind of do a lot more than just, you know, build the stadium and it just sit on the source or so. You understand? And yes, you see the field star, you know, so me as a man, you know, me talk about the field thing there with time, you know. You understand?
Yeah.
The field thing there for fix, you know.
Well, my hope is that if you're going to fix the stadium, then at least for football, the field has to have some refurbishing, right? Major refurbishing. Major update. Major update. The problem you have is that a lot of the events will not include football, right? So it's not a football stadium. So they're going to have a lot of events there. But look, they should go talk to people with Spurs. Spurs has a lot of events at their stadium, their new stadium they built, doing football. We don't see problems with the Spurs football field.
Well, you see, the thing is, and that's why you have to travel, you know, and you have to look on. Remember earlier you talked about the coach and all the coach have to travel around and look on certain things. And the same so with JFF and enough people who are building them things, you know, you have to go and you have to look and see how our next man did build team stadium, you know, and what kind of things they put underneath the sod and how for drainage and all kind of thing, and how they build the road them round the place. And It's not just build a stadium and say, hey, man, have a nice, like a shiny thing over there, so, you know, nice, see? And that's how it going, a big man.
Yep.
You have to look on the next man because the next man that do that thing there before you, and you can take a piece from that man, a piece from that man, a piece from that man, and put everything together, and you have a nice facility. You know, let me ask you a question, Cranky. Because you're a bright youth. You go school, you look like say you have an advanced degree. The college where you go, they never teach.
I have an advanced degree in life because I'm old. But keep going.
All right, cool. Bless. Me respect that. They never teach horticulture. You know horticulture. You know horticulture.
Yeah.
How much you bet say you? Because the Jamaica land of wood and water, you know.
Right.
You must have some kind of horticulture thing going, you know, for man know if grow a mango tree and lime tree and watch for disease, all of them things, you know. Most Caribbean island.
Yeah.
That should be like one of the biggest thing what them teaching at them university or schools, you know.
Well,
right? I hear that.
It's probably an elective more than right? Something mandatory. It's probably more of an elective than mandatory. Yeah.
Sorry to have cut you, but I was listening to someone speak about an island the other day, and them say the man them grow must around 20 different variety of grass, and them sit it out there for how much a year to see which grass react to the weather and the rain and whatever else are going and the dirt underneath it, and then them finally decide say that is the grass where them are gonna go with. Do we do that in Jamaica?
I don't know, but I would assume that we probably don't go that extensive in terms of figure that out. We may have go with how we do historically. It's a great point you're making, which is given the weather, and the weather gets harsher and harsher every year, because in Jamaica, the sun pelting. The question is, optimally, what do you require or need to maintain the field at a certain level, right? Because in England, it's easier.
What variety of grass?
Yeah, because in England, it's easy, right? In England, it's easy. It's rains all the time. It's not that sunny. Everything there is green, right?
And you have the university up there, and you teach the youth them in a university. Wouldn't that be nice after you graduate with them horticulture 4-year degree, and you hire him down a stadium, and the next man will do look, we have a lot of geologists in Jamaica in current time. Them ready, you know, them want to go find gold and backside to them.
Right? And enough things, oil too. So we have oil.
All right. So how come we not have a man down there who figure out what kind of soil and sod to put on underneath the field for drainage, so when time the water run off of the bicycle track and run down into the field, you know, just make the thing a swamp.
Well, one second. Kyle Wallace just says they have golf. He said golf club, but they have golf courses, so they have to know how to, because the golf courses are pristine. You know, that's what Hawkins talked about. Pristine golf courses.
Yeah. But guess what? A man you know, say a rich man golf, a poor man play football. Nowadays things have changed.
Yeah.
But you get my drift.
Yep.
You get my drift.
Yeah, man.
So I know the same thing with cricket, you know, because remember, I know even with cricket, you know, is a plenty man go there daytime a rule cricket pitch, you know, to make sure so the thing on the ball roll nice for all the pitch, you know. And when time it lick the grass, it no, and the grass have like half an inch or quarter inch. You know, the man them talk about that in a cricket plenty, you know.
Well, I think the coach was pleased with Sabina Park, and apart from where the pitches, you know, the pitches is has to stay. It can't be that green, right? And the ball bounced different there. But he was pleased with it when we played in Sabina Park. He mentioned the ball bounced truer in that environment.
Richmond sport, cricket, a Richmond sport too.
Not in Jamaica. It's not Richmond sport.
Well, you know, it's your old master man. Them used to play the cricket. You know, the black man. They used to play the football.
That is true.
So, you know, and I think that now that we find out that football can really elevate the youth from out of the ghetto and bring him on some world-class stage.
Yeah.
We need to elevate the facilities to enable, you know, so that was one of the things too. I think that Renee Simoes, as you were talking about technical director versus coaching, and then my youth did come on and they make a good point, you know. But kind of like the point why I make, why I'm press up, you talk to press up here a few minutes. Renee Simoes, when he came on board, you know, he was like, yo, you know something, I need to develop football throughout the entire length and breadth of Jamaica. Not just the national team, because I'm going to have to, at some point, some of the guys who are player league football in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So they came in with a program, and I remember that they actually did press a lot of the teams them that they had to upgrade their fields.
Okay.
Remember that?
I don't recall that, but I assume that was part of the
Constant Spring did happen. That's all them have a like a mini stadium. The one who Harborview did was the only one that did have a mini stadium. And I remember everybody was saying like, well, if Harborview do it and Harborview have a nice stadium, well, everyone, if you want to really play National League, Premier League football in Jamaica, you have to upgrade your stadiums because you can't have the man them play upon dirt field and expect them to play world-class football. Right. So that was one of the things them that they actually revolutionized football in Jamaica. So yes, the coach and the whole organization at JFF has to put in place something to elevate and to teach the Premier League, National League, the Junior League them in Jamaica. So those kids, the younger one, them can step up them game. So when they're ready to transfer over to the big squad, it's an easy transition.
Yeah, but, there's a lot need to be done from an infrastructure standpoint. And I think the JFF has some plans, but the plans need money. And right now, the JFF don't have any money. The JFF was saying they're in a good place financially. After the Gold Cup, they're not in a good place financially.
We've been hearing that for years, huh?
Well, no, they were in a better place, you know. You remember the previous year, now with Copa and all that, we get money, but because we're winning, we're not winning tournaments, but getting to tournaments where they pay out money. We get to the semi-final of the Nations League. We're not doing nothing this year. We're not doing nothing.
And that's why winning is important, Cranky.
Yes.
That's why you have to win and get the tournament, them. Because when you play the tournament, them you get money. When you get money, you better be able to take care of the things them what you want to take care of. But when time you lose game, so some look at idiot team.
Yep. When they go up and knock on that first round, that's not a good thing.
Me and them a talk about, when time I build the stadium, you know, people go pay premium money for coming. People go pay premium money for what? For came and beat you? You must be out of your mind.
Yeah, I think people are... Look, he's probably not talking about football. You know? He's probably talking about like the concert.
Yeah, must have talk about dancehall.
Yeah, he might talk about champs, he might talk about football, he might talk about track and field, not talk about football. So don't get it confused. Don't get it confused. Not about football. Football is not part of the conversation.
When Shensia put up a big stage out there, full of stadium, they'll
they'll pay for it. I mean, they pay for Chris Brown in a stadium, which was not at the best. So when you have, they're gonna have premium, they're gonna have boxes, you know, they're gonna have suites, you know, a different setup, you know. And the people who have money are being them sweet, them, you know.
You them say they're gonna build 2-car or 3-stage garage to carry them park. So things are going on, you know, big man. But at the end of the day, for me, football still doing it because that is the driving force, you know.
Yeah, man.
You understand? Without football, you know, we have been as a country, you know, and I think we've had this conversation before about the imprint that Jamaica, when time we left the Liquor Rock and we come out them foreign lands here, we imprint enough things, you know, we make a stamp and change up culture in enough places where we're going up. From the food to just how we go on. You understand?
Yeah.
And people respect we. But we spend time we dunk on the rock, it's like we don't get the respect what we deserve and we don't get treated as we should. We have to leave the rock, forget even a little piece of the pie. You understand?
Well, it's because familiarity breeds contempt in us. You know what I'm thinking they go?
True.
Right? You know what I'm thinking they go? But we're appreciated outside Jamaica. Those who migrate may not get the same appreciation from those who are based locally. But outside Jamaica, I think Jamaicans do get a lot of respect and deservedly so because they have accomplished a lot. If you look across the spectrum of all the various disciplines, there's some Jamaica in some discipline doing very, really well.
Of course. I know it's a Brazil figure it out. That's why Brazil no feel no way to make the whole of them boy them gone overseas, gone play, you know.
Well, Brazil think exporting players about money, right? Players can make a lot of money. They'll contribute back to their economy. It helps them because when they export players, the younger ones have something to aspire to, and they become good also. So it's It's a conveyor belt, You just keep rolling them out.
And that's what we should do as well. Stop thinking about export bauxite and sugar cane and ackee. Export the people, develop the people, and make the people go out and spread Jamaica and raise the flag.
No.
And we make our money.
I'm gonna disagree
And
with you on
money
that a little
come
bit.
back.
No. I disagree
Yeah.
with you for this reason. I think I agree with you, whereby exporting human capital does assist significantly, give remittances, but you also need the human capital locally who are innovative, who are entrepreneurial to help the country develop and grow. You can't just
Of
depend
course,
on
yes.
the exportation of the capital and remittances to grow and tourism, because you have to always have contingency plans, and you always have to have things put in place to make sure, I'm not over dependent on any one source of income.
But Cranky, you and I know said nothing is absolute and 100%. You
True.
still go have those where them navel string tied on a Jamaica, no care where America or England or Sweden or France can get them. They ain't leaving yard.
Yeah, and there are people here who just come here, go overseas to generate enough income to go back and live in Jamaica, right? Because they love the island, they love their environment. They just never have the resource they need to live there in the way they want to. So they migrate, generate the capital. I was looking at a property in Jamaica when I was down there in June. I made a mistake and stopped at a building, right? Tall building out by Reading. And the guard, we're talking to the guard, because I'm always talking to people, and the guard says, say the building had 25 apartments. All the apartments are owned by people in the States. There's nobody in the building.
Yeah.
So they guard the empty building. So people reinvest back in the country.
Yeah. That's why I believe in building the capital, and they make people do what they want to do. If they want to go out and go America and make a money and then send some money, come back and help Jamaica build by building big house or buying car, or just send some money for help them people. So be it. Right. But we have to invest in the human capital, and I think that we're falling short there in Jamaica. Even in the football thing. And so that's why some people are always talk about, local based players, or we want to do this with local based players. Yeah, that's all well and good. But there is also, you can't just export the human capital, and then can't hold a bucket of water. Them have to hold a bucket of water, you export them, then can't do it, them stay down there.
Well,
so you have to really build the local players them. You have to build them to where they are good enough. And then now you can say, well, it's a merit-based thing. If the Jamaican player better than the man who come from England, then so be it.
Well, I think that's what we all want. No, not all of us. Some of us want that. I think most people want it to be merit-based, and also want the locally based players to be able to, or the locally developed players, not necessarily based, locally developed players to be able to compete on a global basis with anyone, whether they are diaspora or whether they're the opposition. Just to be able to compete. And then we can make selections based on true meritocracy versus based on where you were born or where you were developed.
Because we have talent still, Cranky, enough talent in our blood, in our genes, we raise the flag high, because me hear the story about my boy, him used to carry a bucket of water up at the hill for much years, And when time the man take the flag and run with everybody jump on behind him. But it was a little boy who carry a bucket how much mile up the road because they never stand pipe in a yard.
Well, some people live, adversity builds strength, adversity, make you stronger, you're not supposed to make you weaker. For some people it does, but for a lot of people who realize their circumstances and that they need to change, they'll make the effort, they'll put in the work, and if they have the talent, it manifests itself in the public domain like Usain Bolt did, and he'll get the rewards from it. Yeah, right? Which he did. So look, at the end of the day, I think what you're saying is totally correct, which is the people who are in the seat of making decisions, and people now would call it the seat of power, who have the ability to effect change and to help develop these kids, have to have the vision, the strategy, the know-how, or get it if they don't have it, to do so the island in totality can benefit, not just a few people.
Me go put it in a layman term, them have to put in the work.
Well, no, something you can put in the work, but you just don't know what you do. That's what I'm saying. You can't. No. Think about it. Me can't work hard as I want, but if I have the talent, or the know-how, or I have to educate myself the right way.
True.
Me not get the outcome I look for. People always say that hard work. Me always use it now. I use the term smart work and hard work, right? If we just work hard, that alone not gonna do it.
True that. But you know, where people are going, so hopefully things will work out for it. And I'm in the camp of we're gonna make the World Cup by hook or by crook.
Yeah, man.
You understand?
Yeah, I camp that
So
too.
stay blessed, Cranky.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Bless up every time.
Bless up.
Yeah, man.
So people, let me just finish this thing because we're not staying more than 2 hours, you know. We have time limit and we show them nowadays. So I was talking about the I don't get to JFF yet, because JFF have role to play. The players have to be match fit, have to have the chemistry. We need some more recruiting. Then if you have hunger, pride, and commitment, the coach have a commitment from the game come, we need the commitment people. And we also have to have leaders. We know Bobby Reid is a leader. We know Antonio is a leader, but we need leaders across the board. We know Blake is the captain, but we never want my goalkeeper to be captain. Because we need somebody who feel that influence player. But I do think we need more players to inform the team, to help the team, and players that have certain skill set, especially in the middle of the park. Doesn't make sense to bring Greenwood. I know some people say, well, when Greenwood come, he may not have the right facilities to play in. He may not do X, Y, Z. We don't want to over-rely on any one player, but I think this player is a differentiator. It's like you have a team, and a team decent, and you add something like a elixir. You add somebody who's just a differentiator. I think this player is. So if he comes, and hopefully he comes in the next window, because he's supposed to have him papers them now. No, I don't know papers and no bad now sign. The papers them sign, papers them send to him. He's supposed to be ready now. Right? Him and about 3 more. There's a couple of them who need to come to Jamaica, having some challenges come to Jamaica, and then if you come 5 of them papers. Not 5 of them papers, but get them passport. Hopefully that get done, so we can bring in the 3 or 4 for the next window, even though I think it may only be 3. But regardless, Greenwood should be one of them. And then 3rd of the 4 parties, I think, where need to shoulder responsibility for the World Cup or making the World Cup is the JFF. So my first point for the JFF is this. Stay to the coach, stay to a team affairs. Hold your corner. Don't get involved in selecting players, picking players, influencing the coach. Make him pick who him think him should pick. Get him the right support system. Get him the right tools. But why him say I don't have no iPad, I don't have no tools. Because I'm going to the stands, go watch game. Right? Don't influence who him picking him team. Let him pick him team. He's the one responsible. That's what you hire him to do. He's supposed to have the expertise. Stay at the team affairs. And get him good assistant coaches. Since me here, talk about that. Because we can't have another situation where the man pick a team and have no midfield. Or have a limited midfield. And then we have also the excuse as to why transparent. And we hear people that say, oh, I wouldn't have picked that midfield. Then the question, where were you before? Hindsight is a you know what? Fixed naturalization process, JFF. You should be working with the government and PICA and the coach and your recruiter in England and the players and their management team to make sure the process is seamless. The process is too difficult now. The process is too complicated, too difficult. It's not as easy. And everybody keep telling me, oh, PICA is fine, PICA is this. And I talk to senior people, this is this. No. I get information from different people and it's all conflicting. That means the process is not working as well as it should. And here's the last point, which I still don't understand. And by the way, the thing about travel and accommodation, them things are supposed to be secondary. Make sure them things are right. But the last point is this. Why don't we have a technical director, people? When are we going to get a technical director? A years now, we don't have one now. We have one in name only. When are we going to get a technical director for oversee the football and run the football the right way? When are we going to get one? We keep getting excuses after excuses after excuses. You can't go with a technical director, you know. We know some people want to run things behind the scenes, but I'm going to say if it work. Get a technical director who has the authority to make major decisions as related to the football. Right now, we're going in a circle. We're going in a circle, people. So between the naturalization process, the fundamental in terms of accommodation and travel, and the whole who pick which team and who picks which player and which player to get exposure, make the coach life seamless and not have no excuse. We don't want the coach in and stand what he not have iPad. I think they're a joke. Or not have right data, not have the right tool. No, I don't think they're a joke. I think they're basic things. Or they'll say, Green will get the ball because of Bobby Reid in the middle, and Max Aaron's at right back or CDM Aiden, so he will get the ball at right wing. We have a hope, sir. Because we need him to touch the ball as much as possible. If he doesn't want to, if he doesn't want to coach, if he doesn't want to coach players, any professional system will do that. Well, some assistants only know local players, and some, I don't know what Sinclair does, to be honest. I have no idea what Sinclair does. What do we have out there? No, I thought FIFA paid this. Maybe I don't think FIFA paid this TD. I did some research on that. I don't think so. My understanding was that the JFF has to pay them. The administration, the federation has to pay them. It's my understanding. I could be wrong with my understanding. By the way, people, somebody the other day, I've mentioned this. You remember I was talking about Billingham and where is heritage, and people that talk about Jamaica, and somebody sent me something was on the show. Let me say some people. One second, Tommy. Let me say something, people. When you're using AI, be very careful when you use AI. Use multiple and triple sources, because category was saying Billingham have Jamaica heritage. ChatGPT said Billingham have Jamaica heritage. I don't think he does. In fact, if you do more research, it says most people don't know what his heritage is. Right? His dad is Caucasian, his mom is black, but they're not sure. Anyway, Tommy, your role. Go ahead.
I sent you a video.
Yeah.
With Jamaica ice hockey team.
Okay.
It is based in Canada.
Jamaica. Are they Canadians on the team? Are Jamaicans?
It's a 81 member team.
81 members.
Yes, and everybody born outside of Jamaica.
Okay. A hockey team with 81 members?
Yes.
Okay.
I sent you the video.
I think I may have missed it because I didn't watch it. I must admit. Okay, I will check.
And within 3 years, everybody get naturalized.
Okay. You say 3 years? Okay.
Yeah, and the ages, their ages from 19 to 30.
Well, Tommy, that may be the case, because, as I said before, I don't think the JFF has any interest in naturalizing anybody. I don't think they do. They have not put together a standard structure to bring people on board. They haven't, because they're very focused on the local players. So that's not surprising.
Some came from Europe, some from the States, and the rest is from Canada.
Okay.
So you can check out that. Video. I expound on it.
All right, me do that.
All
right, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, Tommy. I had gotten something from another person around the lacrosse team. We see basketball. Now Tommy's talking about hockey. All the other sports seem to be able to naturalize people with less difficulty than the football, because the JFF is the problem. They may not like me saying that, but it's true. They are conflicted in terms of bringing players on board versus the local players. So the naturalization process may be more easier for those sports, because ain't no ice hockey in Jamaica. Lacrosse is mainly overseas players going to play the lacrosse at that level. And then for basketball, even though Jamaica plays basketball, the NBA players, the Jamaica want to qualify, so they're going to bring the better players. Right? They're going to bring the better players. So that's part of the problem you face where the JFF is conflicted. So they have not put a structure in place to work with the government, work with PICA, work with who can then engage with them and the players and their agents to make the naturalization process very, very smooth and seamless. Hasn't happened. And probably will never happen. They don't really care. But as I mentioned before, there are 4 parties to us getting to the World Cup. There are the players, and I mentioned them, what they need to do. There's the coach, I mentioned him and his staff. There's the JFF, who need to just do the right thing. And then the last party is you, the fans. You're the last party. So you're not going to like me saying this enough, but for fans, including yours truly, by the way. So we're not taking myself with that mix. For us to make the World Cup, so we have to support the team. Physically, mentally, I'm not going to say spiritually, because I know I'm not spiritual. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite. But we have to be less toxic are more supportive. Doesn't mean they can't beat people or beat the coach. I think diaspora fans are going to be part of the whole key in terms of giving their support. They may have the resources to travel and be part of the conversation and be part of the community to support the team. And, accountability is an imperative, right? Can't just vibes on music. Accountability means you have to go out game, you have to support the team, you have to contribute to the JFF and what they're trying to do to get the team to the World Cup. Because I said the JFF not have no money. And so people are going to be finding that will be a little bit interesting, but they don't have no money. And we don't have that money. Win nothing this year for generate funds, support the team. They were expecting to make at least a semi-final of the Gold Cup, where the payout is much better than being knocked out in the first round. So JF have financial challenges, and that can have a detrimental effect on the team. So we need to contribute to the team, not just with our voice, but with our pockets, to make sure we can all feel good come next year, end of this year, so we can make the World Cup. We have a very short window between September and November to be the best fans ever, to ensure that we did our part to get the team to the World Cup. Right? We need to do that to get the team to the World Cup. Duvan is been saying for a while, they don't want overseas players in the team. Yeah, it's not that they want overseas players, they just want to control it. And if a player go out and do it and get involved, they don't mind, but not that they don't mind, but they can't change that. Here's one point I have mentioned, by the way. I had to run a poll. Let's see if we can pull up the poll there. I ran a poll for one of my favorite players, Ravel. I have 43 votes so far. The poll says, should Ravel Morrissey be included in the World Cup squad? So I have 43 votes. 9% says no. 91% says yes. So, and if you extrapolate that, it's a bit decent enough sample size to the totality of football fans support Jamaica. I think most fans want Ravel in the team. I didn't know our midfield is lacking. And by the way, these are the fans who don't know about football, who are not coaches, who don't have the coaching license, who don't have the coaching acumen, who don't have the coaching expertise. But they know football. They understand. They know what good looks like. And they are calling for Ravel. Almost 91% of them are calling for Ravel based on this survey right here. You guys can go vote on it. And most of them realize that Ravel is a player with the skill set that should be in the team. So I have a call from before the game. Good night. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Cranky. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What you have to say?
It seems like coaches, the whole you insist on comparing the knowledge of a fan to coaches. I don't know why.
No. I didn't compare any knowledge of a fan with coaches. I talked about a friend of mine sent me something trying to prove a point. And the point I'm trying to make to him is this. I'm gonna ask before the game this. Before you started coaching, you know what? It's a wrong era, so I shouldn't ask you that. Cause you're not on TV now your time or anything there. But me ask you anyway. When you're playing football, you probably had one channel. But anyway, when you're playing football, right? During your playing days when you were pretty versed in playing, if you were coached the right way, wouldn't you understand the game to a certain level? If you're coached the right way, I say, if you're coached the right way, it's important.
It depends on the environment that you're right, the environment that you're in, right? I spoke to a top player the other day.
Right.
And he said to me that he started to learn football at 25 after he left the Caribbean. I've heard Glenn Huddle, who played for Tottenham while he was growing up in the Caribbean, and we admired him. And I heard him in an interview said he didn't start to learn football, in his opinion, until he left and went to France to play for Arsene Wenger.
Okay.
Right? So my thing is this. A fan can be highly knowledgeable. A fan could be knowledgeable in football. A fan could be passionate, right? But the understanding, the knowledge of the game and the understanding of the game you're talking about, that's being shaped by the media, because you're talking about looking at it for 3 or 4 hours, right?
Right.
It could be shared by the media, whatever research that they might be doing on their own, and what observation they may have, right?
Right.
The coaches, most coaches have a specialized understanding of the game that was developed through not maybe their playing career, they may or may not have played, but the formal training, the first-hand experience, having to the informal education, having to do training sessions on a daily basis and coach games, do research. The information that we deal with as fans from on the outside on those apps, that's minimal information, right? The game is data driven today, and these guys have information that you wouldn't even dream about things that they're measuring. So I think I don't think it'd be wrong to say that somebody could watch something for hours a day, for weeks, for months, and not know anything about it. Then you have to be, as the youth would say, a fully dance.
Right.
But I don't think it's logical to compare the two. I think a coach.
No. Nobody's comparing the coach and the fans. What I'm saying is that coaches and certain players denigrate fans' knowledge of the game, which I don't think is right.
I don't think that's what they're doing, because let me say this to you. If you need knee surgery, right? Would you, and I said to Cranky, look, don't go and spend $50,000 by the doctor. I spend 3-4 hours a day, every day of the week, learning how to do knee surgery. Let me do it for about 20,000. Would you let me do it?
Say it again. No. We're trying to analogize things which don't lend themselves to. We can't use apples and oranges comparisons. Let's compare. No. But it's not knee surgery. The expertise is different. Wait. So if I play football for 35 years, right?
Uh-huh.
I didn't practice to be a doctor for 35 years.
But okay.
No. Let's go there. No. But I'm giving you an example. I play football for a long time, right? Wait. Let me explain. I played a long time. I watched a long time. I have some knowledge of the game, which may be dangerous. You're done saying all those years of football, I am fully done. I don't understand nothing about the game.
No, I'm not saying that.
Are the coaches?
I'm not saying that. You're now making a different statement. You say you have some knowledge of the game, and
I don't have. Nobody has all the knowledge of the game. No. Wait.
Most fans would have some knowledge of the game.
No. People will say. Most people say we're not done in football because since Pep come, I haven't had that Pep. And Pep revolutionized football, so that means that the old coaching style was nonsense.
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't think any logical or reasonable person would say that. If you're watching the game, you'll have some understanding. At minimum, you'd understand that how a goal gets scored and that kind of stuff, right? You'd have some understanding. Some fans will know more than others.
No, look, if I play football, I know how to control the ball. I know how to receive a ball. I know how to turn. Yeah. I know how to shield the ball. I know how to run the channels. What are we talking about, Andre?
And all of that is true. But I don't think it should be compared with the knowledge of a coach. That's my point. If
I was a coach,
because hear what it sounds like.
Go ahead.
What it sounds like. It sounds like we are not respecting the profession.
Well, that's true. That's a fair point, and we don't want to disrespect any profession, right? What I'm saying is that it's a profession whereby people spend no. But the point I'm trying to make, it's not like any other profession, right? I don't try to be a policeman. I don't go out there 24/7 on the beat, run to different situations, how to handle different situations. But I'm watching Andre. You know how much people on this channel I see on so many other channels, Andre, and also watching. They listen to Talk Sports. They watch Sky. They do FIFA. They run strategy. Why is it Brighton and these French team and these teams nowadays are picking players based on data? They pick players based on data. There's a French club. I forgot the name. They say they don't pick any player. Every player they pick is based on data.
Right. Data plays a big role in the game, but you also have to trust. You have to trust your eyes, right?
Well, sometimes you have cataract, so it doesn't really work.
For those that not very good, that's a good point. And you have DJ here believing that it didn't have TV when I was growing up. But
they had one channel in Trinidad. They had one channel in Trinidad. They had one, just like Jamaica. But keep going.
but I hope you get my point. And the point is
I get your point. Trust me, I get your point. I get your point.
Yeah. So
I'm not trying to denigrate coaching people. That's not the objective. What I'm saying, fans should be given more respect. And I don't think Joe Cole was giving the fans any respect.
People respect fans.
No, they don't. As Arsenal would have bought Madueke. They don't respect fans.
If you're a good friend, if your good friend get up, hang out tonight in Trinidad after the call, and I don't know if you drink alcohol, and he get up in the morning and he call you up and he says, Cranky, the coach quit. The Reggae Boys need a coach. I would like you to do it.
I couldn't do any worse. I couldn't do any worse. First of all, I don't believe international coaches coach. I'm sorry, I don't. I believe people like yourself coach. You're a coach. International coaches are managers. They're administrators. They don't coach. I don't think they coach.
They coach the principles of the game.
They may want to employ certain strategies in games, give how they want to play, but the coaching is done at the club level.
They pick the best. They pick the best players that's available and performing the play for the country. They have a very short space of time. They got to get them all on the thing, and I believe they coach the principles of the game.
They don't have enough time to really coach the players. They will have certain things they want to deploy, and they'll have the players work through it. Like you see, but I'll give you an example. The Chelsea coach, what's his name? Maresca, when he played against PSG, that's coaching. He's had these players for a while. He totally bamboozled PSG and beat them at their own game, right?
But how do you explain Pedro, who came in 2 weeks before?
No. It explains my thought. Right? It explains my thought, which is it's about the players.
But he has to put an infrastructure in place.
Yes.
The players could function in. So at the end of the day, coaching for those that is really good at it is sophisticated, and I don't think you're probably not intentionally trying to do that, but when it sounds as though we're trying to put it on the same level of what a fan might know before.
No. I'm not that arrogant.
You're not doing that.
I'm not that arrogant to do that. That'd be totally ludicrous. Ludicrous.
All right. So that came up tonight. So
no. I would never. What I'm saying is though, the coaches don't respect fans enough. I'm gonna give you an example. Why would Arsenal fans are wrong about Madueke coming to Arsenal and treating the kid the way he did? But here's the point I'm trying to make: the fans know what we need, right? And you're a fan, you're a coach, but you're a fan too. So it's a mixture of people who support the team. What fans are saying is that I have to make a choice. Do I go get Madueke or go get Eze? They want Eze because they see Eze play, Madueke play. And I agree with that sentiment. Am I going to dismiss Madueke or say he's not good? That's not at all. But I think that you always have to, it's a zero-sum game, You don't have the vast resource to get everybody you want to get. But they were talking about choices. They said, why you get Madueke now when you need Gokares, you need Eze? Why you get Madueke now? And he did that with Havertz.
Does the fans, who you just said that the fans know what we need, right?
Yeah.
Does the fan have access to the same information that the coach and stuff have? Do they have access to the fitness of the player, the psychology of the player?
As a caller once said to me, you got to trust your eyes sometimes. As a caller once said to me.
No.
I think the caller just called me. The caller is talking to me. The caller says, you know what? The data may be good, but your eyes also matter, right? Is that right, caller?
Yes, but it's deeper than that. The staff, the coaching staff is dealing with way more information. And if you mentioned Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
Everybody disagreed with the signing of the boy from Chelsea last season for 65 million.
They still disagree.
Right. Yeah, but
you know what I disagree is what I just said a while ago. It's a zero-sum game.
Yeah,
get a striker, get Havertz.
Arsenal well? But did he not serve Arsenal well?
He served Arsenal okay. People still wait. So where's he going to play this year? Where's he going to play this year? On the bench. That's what people are talking about.
Right,
that's $68 million. He's the highest paid Arsenal player. Sorry, people going to Arsenal. He's the highest paid. He makes $295 or $285. He's the highest paid player. He's okay. He's going to be on the bench this year if they pick the team the right way. So that means the fans are not wrong.
Did you see?
Huh?
the boy from Spain playing as a striker for Arsenal after the striker got injured.
Yes, but it proved the point with Havertz, right? It proved the point.
Right. But the point I'm making is this: the coaches have information that we as fans don't have.
True.
Right. So I don't think we can say definitely the fans know what we need. The fans is operating on peripheral information, what they read in the media, what they may glean from what little knowledge they have of the game.
I disagree with you. I disagree with you. I disagree because here's why I disagree. All those fans you're talking about, if you watch AFTV, they break down the player, they break down strategy, they break down stats, they break down data. They're using all the information not all the coaches have, right? But they have a lot of information that not every fan is going to be looking at that. Something is the paper job, right? AFTV, that's their job, that's their work, that's what they do. They go out and source the information and provide it to the public because that's what they do on a daily basis. They live football, they breathe football, they follow Arsenal everywhere. They look at some of the same data. Now, the coach will have more data and maybe looking for different things, but we can't dismiss, and it's not even you can't even call some of those people fans anymore, right? Some of them, they're like regular analysts. They're probably different categories.
They're fans.
No, they're not regular fans. They're not regular fans. They do much more than what fans do.
When we say data, the data that the coaches work with is far different from what we get to see. It costs a lot of money to begin with, right? Yeah. And that's why they have it. And that's why some of them rely so heavily on it.
Okay, I hear you. Man, so if you have glaucoma, should you chest your eyes, right? I mean, ask Andre. I say cataract. You say, you can't fix cataract. That's what the glaucoma.
Your eyes, your eyes when it comes to this is what you possess you. The game is sophisticated, and we've got to respect the coaches. Some are better than some for sure.
Yes.
But we just gotta respect that they are functioning in a different space, and that's why. Many teams in the English league, that don't win the league, and they have qualified, really good coaches who are trying to win. They have good players.
Yes, I agree with that.
And the same coaches, almost the same coaches win all the time. Look at Chelsea, what they just did. They just made PSG look irrelevant, right?
But fans fire coaches in England, right?
It's
the owner just pulled the plug, but fans make it so toxic. Coach has to go.
Yeah, in some cases, yes.
Yeah,
in some cases,
happens quite a bit in England. Actually, yeah. I'm not saying it's right, but it does happen. No, we're not firing McClaren. We're not because we no matter how toxic we get, JFF ain't listening to us. They just ignore us. We don't have that power. We don't have that power.
Chat GPT cannot replace coaches.
No, chat cannot replace coaches. I don't think chat can replace coaches, but chat can help in informing coaches about a bunch of tough stuff. Right? Like everything else, like every other discipline, it can help in another discipline. So
you can't run away from tools that could help you be better.
Totally agree with that. So
it sounds like we have an understanding.
Yes, we do. Coaches are relevant. And fans don't know much.
The profession must be respected.
We respect the profession, sir. We respect the profession.
All right, wonderful.
All right, bless up.
All right, just thanks.
Yeah, that's Andre, people. Andre, I was arguing about this. I respect coaches, people. I don't think that fans know as much as a lot of coaches, because like every discipline, the more qualified one go through training and all that. But fans sometimes get dismissed. And they spend time with the vocation, with the job. It's not even a job, with their hobby, but the hobby becomes work. Right? The hobby becomes work. Somebody just texts me and says, you hope the coach get all these players. I hope he put them in a right formation and have them play well, which I totally agree with. I got to call one person back, people, and then I'm going to close down the channel. Let me see if I can find... And I can't find the person who just called me. It was from the UK, so they're up late. The person from the UK, can you call me back? Because I can't find... I did text you, and I can't find your number now. I don't know what the hell is happening here. And I apologize. If you're still up, the person from the UK just called me. Can you call me back? Because I don't see your number. It's supposed to be a missed call, and I'm not seeing it. And I promised to call you back. And you may be sleeping now because it's 1 o'clock, almost 2 o'clock in the morning. So I would hate to call you and you fell asleep. If you can call me back in the next 2 minutes, I would truly appreciate it. If not, I'm going to close the program down. All right, people, I'm done. It's been a wonderful night. You've been a wonderful audience. Before you leave, hit the like button. I truly appreciate you. My hope is that... I'm getting the call. Person's calling me. Good night. Hello, good night.
Mr. Cranky.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Digo from the UK.
Digo, how you doing, Digo? Digo,
I'm not too bad. How you doing? I know you're so close up, right?
Yeah. Digo, night old Digo. About 2 o'clock in the morning, you know.
Right. What I would say, oh God. First of all, I am not an Arsenal fan. Them play good football, but I'm not an Arsenal fan.
Which team do you support? Which team do you support?
West Ham, but that got nothing to do with what I'm talking to you about.
Okay.
Right. You talking about Madueke or Eze?
Yes.
Right. I feel Arteta. I like Arteta. And he might be in a desperate position to win the Premiership. And he might get the right balance. I think buying Madueke is a good balance on the left, because that I got to added up the stakes for Martinelli. And at the same time, through Saka broke down last year and playing too much.
Right.
They might go learn to swap it around, because the Champions League, different formats, etc. So I think that is a good balance for Arsenal.
Okay.
Because they're not gonna play them on every single day, but they're not gonna play them when it matters, even if it's only half a game.
Yeah, but
right?
would you prefer Madueke? Would you prefer Madueke to Eze? Because we could play like Villa, right? Villa used 2 number 10 sometime, right? With Ramsey and the other kid versus playing a true outside left winger.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, true, I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm not particular. The best I've seen Eze play was when he played with the
left winger
what
from.
What name was gonna
He's Elise. He went to Germany, played for Bayern.
Yeah. Because that was a brilliant idea.
Yep.
When we mention things like that to some man, and say, "Why the man can't play? Let's play together." But you have to know. You have to know and think. So it's not a matter, but I prefer Eze, to be quite honest.
Like most, most Arsenal fans prefer Eze.
Yeah, but the balance, what my man I look for, it will suit Arsenal. It will suit Arsenal.
Well, we're looking for productivity, not just balance. We're looking for productivity. Eze has 25 goal contribution in 40-something games. Productivity. He scored 14 goals last season. Madueke scored about, he had 11 and 5. I like Madueke, by the way, but I think Eze brings something different. When we have low block against us, we can't go in the middle through people. We can only go out wide. Eze can go through the middle through people.
Let me ask you something. Yeah. Let me ask you something what I don't know. The midfielder what them buy from Spain. Yeah?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Marino. Zubimendi.
Yeah. Is he a creative type of player, or is just a holding midfield player?
He has creativity. He's not like he's not like an Odegaard or Eze, but he has creativity.
Right. But you have Odegaard still.
Yes.
You see? You have Odegaard still. I get your point, and I see your point. Because if you had brought Eze, right, how would he operate in the midfield? Eze operate in the midfield for policy be totally different to Arsenal, you know?
Yes. He's going to go by people. We don't have anybody to go by people. Right? We don't have anybody to beat people and create mismatches. We don't have anybody to beat people in the middle of the park and create mismatches. Everybody's play the same bland ball. They pass the ball and they.
But there's not many people in the Premiership who can actually do that.
I agree.
And
That's why
you
Marcus Rogers does it. He does it. That's why you need him.
Who?
Marcus Rogers from Villa. He does it. Palmer does it when he plays in the middle.
Rogers.
Yeah. Rogers does it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I see what you mean. But I still think it's not a bad move, Medawaki. But like you, I would prefer Eze.
Yeah, and what people are saying is that the 50-something million play from Medawaki, you could have put a couple more mil on it and buy Eze because its buyer clause is 60 plus 8 add-ons. You could have put 8 more million on it and then get the add-ons and buy Eze. That's what people are concerned about. Yeah, I think Madueke was 48 and 4 or 47 and 5 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Madueke, I understand, is taking the same wage he was getting at Chelsea.
That is true.
They would have to up the wages.
Yes. Yes, that's true. I think he makes 50 G a week. That's a great point you're making. Eze is going to be more expensive. At least 130, 40, I would think. Versus 50.
And I don't think Arsenal ready to pay them thing they had.
No, we pay Havertz about 280, so we can't afford it.
Pay who, what?
Havertz make about 280. It's a highest paid Arsenal. You make 280 to 285. Highest paid Arsenal player.
Sorry, I never catch the name.
Havertz, we bought from Chelsea 2 years ago. He's making 285, I think.
What?
Yeah.
So, rotted.
Yeah, he makes a lot of money. He's the highest paid Arsenal player.
Man is bad pay that more pay, man.
Yeah, well, Arteta loves him.
They never get him for a free, do they?
No, we paid 68 million for him. A lot of money.
And still are paying that amount of money?
Yes. Pay him a lot of money.
Rotted.
Well, you're right. Madueke makes about 50, I think they said, or somewhere in that region. So he's making almost 6 times what Madueke make.
Yeah. Them would have to up the ante and hold it to Eze, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, sir.
Yeah, cause anyway, nice talking to you. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, man. Thanks for calling.
All right. Bless up.
All right, bless up. All right, people. Somebody asked me if we just drop a little bit of the song. Me not play the whole thing, people. You know, I played a song earlier in the chat. I played I'm working on a song, people. I'm halfway through it. So don't beat me. I'm halfway through it, and it's at home, so it's not even in a professional studio. It's just put some words, some rhythm. I'm trying to get license for the rhythm, but me contact VP Records and I contact me back yet. Send them my email. But I did do some words to it. Let me do it yesterday or today. So don't beat me, but hear it a little bit. See? It's the outer song. I'll close on after this. I'll also play about 30 seconds. Right? And dribble the wall in the goal. Now, but the team not on the... No, we've got to start. We'll start from the beginning. This is Cranky, the runway house. We're runway house, you know. And as we run the track, remember the saying? Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Here we go. Cranky life, make your wise. No corporate script, no disguise. Provide knowledge, open eyes. Drop real heat and expose your light. Rate the youth to rise with grind. No praise them when them farm decline. Excellence get big headline. Mediocrity get left behind. Cranky life, we bring the vibes. No sell out, no compromise. We no follow hype, we analyze. Talk the truth and burn out the lies. Cranky life, no puppet speech. We talk the things them afraid to preach. We not hide truth like a priest. We there to vibe and to teach. And dribble the wall in the goal. But the team not on a roll. We need system, we need control. Coach take charge and play your role. The people need voice, we represent. Say the things them afraid to vent. Jamaica rise, that's the intent. So we have to expose the false pretense. Cranky life, we bring the vibes. Alright, people. So I work on it. About a minute more to do. And it's a whole rhythm, but you know I go, whole time I feel use man say original better. Hey Conrad, everybody have them tears. You know it is. Me prefer that one actually. Me prefer that one, yeah. And I work on it. Me do it today a little bit. me redo it, but me like the rhythm still. It's called what university something like a university rhythm. I call, which I remember. Sidewalk University, the rhythm name. I think War 21 did some song on it. Enough DJ right the rhythm, yeah. But I like the rhythm. So I'll close on the program. I'll play it one more time for 10 seconds and then I'll close on the program. This is Cranky, the Runway House. We run Runway House, you know. And as we run the track, remember the saying? Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Here we go. Cranky life, make your wise. No corporate script, no disguise. Provide knowledge, open eyes. Drop real heat and expose their life. Rate the youth to rise with grind. No praise them when them farm decline. Excellence get big headline. Mediocrity get left behind. All right, that's it, people. Thank you for being here. Yes, old times thing come back. If you're not young, you're not gonna like them rhythm. You don't like the different rhythm them. If you're old, you like them rhythm. Should Arsenal be playing Declan 240? He's more important to Arsenal than Havertz. Havertz will make 285, whatever the number is. Yeah, the rhythm good at Gran Janeiro. I like the rhythm, yeah. Just need to work on the verbiage. Yeah, we shouldn't pay Havertz. No, I think, look, it's the going rate. 240 is the going rate. Tell me, uncle and auntie. Hey, we can't tell the age group of the people having a FIFA. We can't tell the age group of the people having a. We can't tell the age group. Age group, you can't tell him by whatever you read him you play. We can't tell the age group. We can't tell the age group. But no, I was doing it today, and I was halfway through the song. I miss some words. I just cut it off and say, you know, I'll get another day. I'm gonna do the whole thing, and I wanted to be the ultra song. So even the things that, but the other ultra better, then you keep the one there. But at time for upgrade, sir. It comes like the stadium. You have to upgrade. I've had this ultra for a year now, but I need to buy this. I need to buy the license because most of the songs I use, I buy the license. I buy the license for a certain period of time. So yeah. Cranky, we Butler and the 17 coach still can't hear from him. Yeah, I don't know. I know, right? I was supposed to interview him now. I haven't heard back from him, so I don't know. You hope I would be a better coach? Well, I'm practicing enough. But you see, I spend much more time watching football than I try to DJ before the game. Before the game, before me come on something, before me come on YouTube, never try on DJ a thing ever. So it's a different thing, you know. And see, me just try something. It may not be good, but it may try something. But me watch football all my life, so me know a little bit about football. Now, as coaches would say, because they might try coach them coming like a referee them with VAR, you know. Are people with AI, and I try to protect on a job, but we'll take it for now. We'll come coach a team. You'll come coach a team. What the game? We'll come coach a team. No, coaching is difficult. Coaching, if you look at the materials that coaches use into this environment to get them B, A, and pro license, it is very much involved. I do think coaching needs some more innovation because I think the more innovation come in football, the more innovation. It's almost like innovation generates more innovation. So when Pep comes is inverted, people start do variations of it. So I think what you have is the whole standard thing way back when. That's changing quite a bit, right? But anyway, overstay my time, people. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. And I see you when I see you. Peace out.